Hi friends, today we are diving into the lesser-known highlights about Bhagat Singh, which is written in a form of the jail notebook and other writings which cover letters of Bhagat Singh. This video will also answer the questions like, how did Bhagat Singh's thinking transformed into a revolutionary? Where did he get the inspiration of revolution? What books he wrote when he was in jail? His letters in a series of events throughout his life. Tortures of British government when he was in jail. His final letter before hanging, and many others rarely said facts. Having said this, let's get started. Bhagat Singh was born into a Sikh family on 27th of September 1907 in the Lyalpur district of the Punjab and is today Pakistan. Born to Vidyavati and her husband Kishan Singh Sandhu. Bhagat Singh's father and his uncle Ajit Singh were active in progressive politics, taking part in the agitation around the Canal Colonization Bill in 1907, and later the Ghadar movement of 1914-1915. Bhagat Singh was deeply influenced by his family as his father was a freedom fighter himself, and the environment at home exposed Bhagat Singh to nationalist and revolutionary ideas from a young age. In 1919, Bhagat Singh was just 12 years old when the Jallianwala Bagh massacre occurred in Amritsar. Witnessing the brutal repression of innocent civilians by British troops left a profound impact on him. Gradually, he started delving more deeper into the ideology of Mikhail Bakunin and also read Karl Marx, Vladimir Lenin and Leon Trotsky. He was inspired by Lenin and Trotsky sayings. Lenin views of, "It is necessary to direct ourselves not by old formulas but by new realities," and Trotsky views of, "But a moment comes when the habit of thinking that the enemy is stronger becomes the main obstacle to victory," were a great inspiration for him. Also, in particular, Bhagat Singh was deeply influenced by socialist and Marxist ideology, which outlined his vision for a more equitable and just society. He believed in the need for radical social and economic transformation, advocating for the rights of workers, peasants and marginalized communities. Singh did not believe in the Gandhian ideology, which advocated satyagraha and other forms of non-violent resistance, and felt that such politics would replace one set of exploiters with another. He also drew inspiration from the Irish struggle for independence and closely followed the tactics employed by Irish Republicans against British rule. He admired figures like James Connolly and was influenced by the Irish Republican movement's emphasis on armed resistance. Bhagat Singh many times debated with his father on Mahatma Gandhi's decision to withdraw the non-cooperation movement after the Chowri Chowra deaths in 1922. He believed that withdrawal of non-cooperation had disillusioned many youths all over India, which was a big shock. This is a main reason why upcoming revolutionaries stopped trusting Gandhi anymore, rather focused on building their own voice for India's independence. Bhagat Singh came to Kanpur in 1923 after writing to his father that he would not marry, since his life was dedicated to the nation. An important factor in his intellectual and political growth was his access of the Dwarka Das Library, Lahore, which had started acquiring Marxist literature in the mid-1920s. He was clearly learning for a comprehensive philosophy of human liberation. This led him to Marxism. During his college years, Bhagat Singh became involved in revolutionary activities against British rule. He formed the Naujawan Bharat Sabha in 1926 to mobilize young people for the cause of independence and participated in protests and demonstrations. They were particularly inspired by Kartar Singh Sarabha, executed in Lahore in 1915 at the age of 19. Bhagat Singh always carried Sarabha's picture in his pocket, and the Naujawan Bharat Sabha would garland his picture in every public meeting. Bhagat Singh was also indirectly involved in the Kakori conspiracy, in which members of the Hindustan Republican Association carried out a train robbery to fund revolutionary activities. Now let's move to year 1928, when the British government had set up the Seaman Commission to report on the political situation in India. Some Indian political parties boycotted the commission because there were no Indians in its membership. When the commission visited Lahore on 30th of October 1928, Lala Lajpat Rai led a march in protest. The Superintendent of Police, James A. Scott, ordered the police to lathily charge the protesters and personally assaulted Rai, who got injured. Rai died of a heart attack on 17th November 1928. Doctors thought that his death might have been hastened by the injuries he had received. As a repercussion of his death in December 1928, Bhagat Singh and Shivaram Rajguru shot dead John Saunders in Lahore, Punjab, mistaking Saunders for James Scott, whom they had intended to assassinate. They held Scott responsible for the death of Lala Lajpat Rai. As Saunders exited a police station on a motorcycle, he was felled by a single bullet fired from across the street by Rajguru. As he lay injured, he was shot at close range several times by Singh. The post-mortem report showed 8 bullet wounds. Apart from this, Chandrasekhar Azad shot dead an Indian police head constable, Chanan Singh, who attempted to give chase as Singh and Rajguru fled. Singh was thereafter on the run for many months. In April 1929, Bhagat Singh and Batukeshwar Dutt set off 2 low-intensity homemade bombs among some unoccupied benches of the Central Legislative Assembly in Delhi. They showered leaflets from the gallery on the legislators below, shouted slogans of Inquilab Zindabad, down with imperialism, and allowed the authorities to arrest them. The act was influenced by Auguste Vaillant, a French anarchist who had bombed the Chamber of Deputies in Paris. These steps were carried out against the Public Safety Bill and the Trade Disputes Bill introduced by British government. The arrest caused a lot of attention from the public for the causes they were fighting for. The statement proclaimed, "It takes a loud voice to make a deaf hear." With these immortal words uttered on a similar occasion by Vaillant, a French anarchist martyr, do we strongly justify this action of ours. This was a defining moment of the Indian freedom struggle. From this day, Inquilab Zindabad became a common slogan of all those who dreamed of a free and just India. Gandhi issued strong words of disapproval of their deed. Bhagat Singh responded to the criticism by writing the Assembly bomb statement, "We hold human life sacred beyond words. We are neither perpetrators of dastardly outrages, nor are we lunatics, as the Tribune of Lahore and some others would have it believed. Force, when aggressively applied, is violence and is therefore morally unjustifiable, but when it is used in the furtherance of a legitimate cause, it has its moral justification." Doubts had been raised about the accuracy of testimony offered at the trial. One key discrepancy concerns the automatic pistol that Singh had been carrying when he was arrested. Some witnesses said that he had fired 2 or 3 shots, while the police sergeant who arrested him testified that the gun was pointed downward when he took it from him and that Singh was playing with it. According to an article in the India Law Journal, the prosecution witnesses were coached, their accounts were incorrect, and Singh had turned over the pistol himself. He was later sent to Central Jail Mianwali from the Delhi jail. There he witnessed discrimination between European and Indian prisoners. He considered himself, along with others, to be a political prisoner. They demanded equality in food standards, clothing, toiletries and other hygienic necessities, as well as access to books and a daily newspaper. They argued that they should not be forced to do manual labor or any undignified work in the jail. Jawaharlal Nehru met Singh and the other strikers in Central Jail Mianwali. After the meeting, he stated, "I was very much pained to see the distress of the heroes. They have staked their lives in this struggle. They want that political prisoners should be treated as political prisoners. I am quite hopeful that their sacrifice would be crowned with success." Muhammad Ali Jinnah also spoke in support of the strikers in the assembly, saying, "The man who goes on hunger strike has a soul. He is moved by that soul, and he believes in the justice of his cause. However much you deplore them, and however much you say they are misguided, it is the system, this damnable system of governance, which is resented by the people." The authorities also attempted force-feeding the prisoners, but this was resisted. By now, the condition of another hunger striker, Jatindra Nath Das, lodged in the same jail, had deteriorated considerably. Please allow me to share with you all the actual scenic situation which you may not be aware of. All this has been referenced from the notebook itself. Let me read you the article in Daily Worker, New York, number 75, March 5, 1931, which says, "Against the suspects arrested, the Labour government vented its wrath and hate. All of the prisoners were beaten and tortured through special methods invented by the British imperialists and the Labour administrators. Jatin Das, one of the accused who died before he could be executed, was tortured for 63 days. He was paralyzed and blinded by the torture. His blood circulation had stopped except around his heart. His body weight was reduced to 19 pounds at his death. His funeral was attended by 50,000 bearing slogans and banners saying, "Long live the revolution," and "Down with imperialism." The other prisoners were all tortured and beaten repeatedly. They were handcuffed and flogged by the civilizers of the British Labour government. One Indian paper described the tortures as follows. Each prisoner was assaulted by at least 20 to 25 policemen, the methods of assault being most inhuman. The actual details are unprintable. One method employed was the penetration of the fingers into the rectum and kicking the private parts. The assault continued for more than 1 hour, after which 5 prisoners got fever. All others had acute pains in different parts of the body. Bhagat Singh and Rajguru fell down senseless on the spot. Canes were frequently used and marks can be actually seen on these prisoners. Singh finally heeded a resolution of the Congress Party and a request by his father, ending his hunger strike on 5th of October 1929 after 116 days. Bhagat Singh had 3 main agendas in jail. First, to use the trial and the publicity it was getting to spread the revolutionaries' ideas and message. Second, to expose the inhumanity and brutality of the colonial state by resorting to protests, including hunger strikes, inside the jail. And third, to develop himself ideologically and politically by undertaking a rigorous and serious program of reading. It is well known that he was spectacularly successful in the first 2. What is often missed is how hard he worked and to what extent he succeeded in the third. Bhagat Singh's comrade in jail and later editor of his selected works, Shiv Verma, records that Bhagat Singh prepared 4 manuscripts in jail. 1. The Idea of Socialism, 2. Autobiography, 3. History of the Revolutionary Movement in India, and 4. At the Door of Death. There are 2 theories behind these papers. It is not clear if Verma actually read or saw these manuscripts or simply heard Bhagat Singh saying that he's working on them. However, clearly Bhagat Singh did write something, and what he wrote was smuggled out of the jail by Kumari Lajawati of Jalandhar. We must consider ourselves fortunate that some member of his family, probably Kulbir Singh, managed to retrieve jail notebook, reprinted later. Another claim is that Lajawati handed over the bulk of the papers to Bijoy Kumar Sinha in 1938. Sinha apparently passed them on to another unnamed friend, who, however, destroyed them, fearing a police raid. The loss of these invaluable documents must surely rank as one of the great tragedies of the period. One doesn't know, and one will probably never know, how extensive these writings were. Bhagat Singh's notebook is not a diary at all in the conventional sense, in that it does not record his daily life in the prison, nor his thoughts and emotions. Bhagat Singh's jail notebook is a record of his study and reading in the prison prior to his execution. Before hanging, his father had also written a petition letter to British government to reconsider his case, to which Bhagat Singh replied as, "My dear father, I was astounded to learn that you had submitted a petition to the members of the special tribunal in connection with my defense. This intelligence proved to be too severe a blow to be borne with equanimity. It has upset the whole equilibrium of my mind. I've not been able to understand how you could think it proper to submit such a petition at this stage and in these circumstances. In spite of all the sentiments and feelings of a father, I don't think you were at all entitled to make such a move on my behalf without even consulting me. You know that in the political field my views have always differed with those of yours. I have always been acting independently without having cared for your approval or disapproval. Father, I'm quite perplexed. I fear I might overlook the ordinary principles of etiquette, and my language may become a little but harsh while criticizing or rather censoring this move on your part. Let me be candid. I feel as though I have been stabbed at the back. Had any other person done it, I would have considered it to be nothing short of treachery. But in your case, let me say that it has been a weakness of the worst type. On 7th October 1930, the tribunal delivered its 300-page judgment based on all the evidence and concluded that the participation of Singh, Sukhdev and Shivaram Rajguru in Saunders' murder was proven. They were sentenced to death by hanging. Later, Bhagat Singh wrote a letter to Punjab governor by saying, "No hanging, please shoot us. According to the verdict of your court, we had waged war, and we are therefore war prisoners. And we claim to be treated as such, i.e., we claim to be shot dead instead of being hanged. It rests with you to prove that you really meant what your court has said." The copy of the full letter is available in the notebook. You may have a look as per your interest. Link is in the description. He also wrote a final letter on 22nd March 1931 by saying his wish to live with a condition and his unfulfilled urge. Comrades, the desire to live is natural. It is in me also. I do not want to conceal it, but it is conditional. I don't want to live as a prisoner or under restrictions. My name has become a symbol of Indian revolution. The ideal and sacrifices of the Revolutionary Party have elevated me to a height beyond which I will never be able to rise if I live. My heart nurtured some ambitions for doing something for humanity and for my country. I have not been able to fulfill even 1,000th part of those ambitions. If I live, I might perhaps get a chance to fulfill them. If ever it came to my mind that I should not die, it came from this end only. I'm proud of myself these days, and I am anxiously waiting for the final test. I wish the day may come nearer soon. Your comrade, Bhagat Singh. Mahatma Gandhi sent an appeal to the Viceroy, which was rejected by him, stating as, "While returning, Gandhiji asked me if he could talk about the case of Bhagat Singh because newspapers had come out with the news of his slated hanging on March 24th. It would be a very unfortunate day because on that day the new president of the Congress had to reach Karachi and there would be a lot of hot discussion. I explained to him that I had given a very careful thought to it, but I did not find any basis to convince myself to commute the sentence. It appeared he found my reasoning weighty. Singh, Rajguru and Sukhdev were to be hanged on 24th of March 1931. The schedule was moved forward by 11 hours and the three were hanged on 23rd of March 1931 at 7:30 p.m. in the Lahore jail. The bodies of the revolutionaries were hurriedly butchered, cut into pieces, stuffed in gunny sacks and smuggled out of the back gate of the jail to the banks of the river Sutlej, where they were burnt and destroyed. The revolutionaries were not even granted the dignity of a proper farewell or last rites by their families, comrades and admirers. In an editorial on March 29, 1931, by Periyar E.V. Ramasamy in Notebook states, Mr. Gandhi said that Lord Irwin is a Mahatma and has ordered the common people of the country to address the Viceroy the same way. Lord Irwin publicized Mr. Gandhi among the white people as a great man endowed with divinity. Even Gandhi has said clearly and openly, admitting that the reason for starting the Salt Satyagraha agitation to spoil and undo the work done by persons like Bhagat Singh. To supplement these things, the real socialists among the neighbors have been proclaiming loudly, Mr. Gandhi has betrayed the poor. He does these things to eradicate the socialist principles. Down with Gandhi, down with Congress. Now let me share my sincere opinion on the principles of Bhagat Singh's life journey. Bhagat Singh believed in socialism and communism, which means everyone should be equal and have the same rights. He wrote a letter to the governor of Punjab saying, "Till Communist Party comes to power and people live without unequal status, our struggle will continue. It cannot be brought to an end by killing us. It will continue openly and secretly." He also said that to end untouchability, the idea of upper and lower castes must be removed. Similarly, to fight poverty, we need to get rid of the idea of capitalists, people who own businesses, and wage earners, people who work for wages. So socialism and communism mean doing away with these unequal systems. Bhagat Singh later referred to as the Shahid-e-Azam. Bhagat Singh's defiance against imperialism and his willingness to sacrifice his life for freedom inspired movements in countries such as Ireland, Egypt, Kenya, and Vietnam. For example, Ho Chi Minh, the leader of the Vietnamese independence movement, admired Bhagat Singh's commitment to fighting imperialism and sought inspiration from his tactics in organizing resistance against French colonial rule. We shall end this video by stating views of George Bernard Shaw, who visited India, and he explained his view on British rule at that time. Shaw became wild upon seeing a sign on a yacht club near Taj Hotel that said, "Reserved exclusively for the white people only." He remarked angrily, "It was nothing short of snobbery to have a club exclusively reserved for the use of the white people in a land of colored people." All I meant to say with this is we should never forget our past. Thanks for watching. Stay inspired.